Thank you for watching this video. We're going to start covering Chapter 2. Remember, these are the short videos that kind of just go over the notes, but you also have the full lecture videos that kind of go through it step by step. I'm just going to kind of give you a quick overview of Chapter 2 by looking at the solutions. So in Chapter 2, we're going to look at quadratic equations. You remember, like f of x equals ax squared plus bx plus c. The idea that the highest power is squared, which makes it look like a parabola. Okay? And with a parabola, we have a vertex, which is the highest or lowest point. And to find the x-coordinate, it's negative b over 2a. Take that x, plug into the original to find the y, and that will give you the highest or lowest point. The x-intercepts, again, are where the graph crosses the x-axis, and that's when you set the equation equal to 0. But you can also find them using the quadratic formula, which you remember is negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. That gives you your x, and then you can find out where it crosses the x-axis. So I have this example. I'm just going to kind of run through it for you. But here's a quadratic equation. I know because the highest power is squared. A is 1, b is 2, and c is negative 8. So if I want to find the vertex of this, remember we used the formula negative b over 2a, so I plug in the b, plug in the a, I get x is negative 1, but that's not the vertex. To find the vertex, it's a point, so we take that point, plug it into the original, and we get negative 9. So the vertex, the highest or lowest, is negative 1 comma negative 9. Also, if you look at a, if the a number is positive, it's a happy face, or if it's negative, it's a sad face. It's nice to remember what the graph will look like. Okay. Another thing we can do is find the x-intercepts. So again, you can set the equation equal to 0. You need to know how to factor. So this is factored. Set each piece equal to 0 and solve. And you get negative 4 and 2. Remember, those aren't the x-intercepts. That's the x. The x-intercept's a point, negative 4 comma 0, 2 comma 0. You can also find that by doing the quadratic formula. Remember, negative b, all a, b, c are here. Negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. When you work that out, 1 plus 1 minus, you still get negative 4 and 2. So remember, a is positive, so we get that happy face. The vertex is negative 1 and negative 9, and the x-intercepts are negative 4 and 2. The axis of symmetry is where the graph's the same. That's x equals negative 1. We get that from the vertex x. Okay, so again, this is all a review. You should know this. This is just getting your skills back up. So there's another example here. Y equals x squared minus 4, so that's what we're going to work out. You can find your vertex. There's your x. There is a typo here, so if you take 2 and plug it in, 2 squared is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 minus 8 is negative 4, so that's actually a typo. And you'll see here that it's negative 2, 2, negative 4. So work that one out. Good practice for you. And then we can also do it in the calculator. So I'm going to bring the calculator over. And if I wanted to graph that one, I'm going to go to y equals, put x. You can put raised to the 2, or you can use the squared. Make sure we have the right equation, which is minus 4x. Minus 4x. Now remember, they're using a standard window, so your calculator may already be set that way. If not, if you hit zoom 6, it brings you to a standard window, and you can see 2, negative 4, 0, and 4. So 0, 0, and 4, 0 are your x-intercepts. You can check this in the calculator. If I hit second trace, looking for the minimum since it's the lowest point, go to the left of the minimum, enter. Go to the right of the minimum, enter. Guess where you think it is. And the calculator will actually figure out the vertex for you. And again, a little rounding thing, but that's 2 comma negative 4. Also be able to do it by hand. And if you wanted to find the x-intercepts, that's possible, but you need to go to y2 and plug in 0, because we need to find where they intersect. So what the calculator is doing is when you put x is 0, it's putting a line here. So where those two lines cross, graphs cross, that's your x-intercept. So if I hit second trace, 5 for intersect, enter, 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 there's the first one. Second trace, 5 for intersect. Before you hit enter, 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 move it over, because if not, I'll just keep on finding the same one. Enter, enter, enter. There's your 4 zeros. So you can do it in the calculator or you can do it by hand. And it's good to practice the calculator. Okay? So again, a lot of practice there. Stuff you should already know, but maybe you need to practice the calculator. And then we have a word problem. So a publishing company predicts that the demand equation for the sale of its latest sci-fi novel is given as Q, remember quantity, equals negative 2,000 P, P is price, plus 150,000, where Q is the number of books it can sell each year at a price per book. We don't know what that price is. What price should it charge to obtain the maximum annual revenue? So first of all, this is demand, this is not revenue. So as we learned in the previous chapter, to find revenue, it's price times demand. Price times demand. Demand is negative 2,000 P plus 150,000. Price, we don't know. Again, there's P. So we take P multiplied by Q, distribute. We get a revenue function first is negative 2,000 P squared plus 150,000 P. Now, it's quadratic. That's the whole point. It's a review, quadratic. I know because the highest power is squared. A is negative, so it's going to be that sad face. These are the kind of things I want you to know. So if it's a sad face, we should be able to see it go all the way up and all the way down. That's what we're looking for. But again, I don't know what this looks like. I know we're talking about a price of a book, so we're not talking about thousands of dollars, but maybe like 0 to 100, somewhere around there, things to play with. But we know it's going to go up and it's going to go down. Okay? So here's the graph, but how do I get that? And we're going to do it in the calculator, but this window is really important and really goes back to understanding the problem. So when I bring that calculator back, I'm going to go to y equals, clear out y1, clear out y2. I'm going to go ahead and put this equation in. So it's negative, oops, put in y1, doesn't really matter, but negative 2,000 x squared plus 150,000 x, enter. Now I'm not going to see what's going on. I'm not going to see this. And the reason why is I need to figure out my window. So I would always sketch it first, like I did here. But how do I know what numbers work? Well, first of all, understand the problem. We're talking about a book, right? So it's not thousands of dollars. 0 to 100 is a good place to start. So if I go to the table, second graph, you'll notice that I can plug in values here, but it's kind of automatic. So we need to set up the table first. So I'm going to hit second window for table set. Most likely it says auto. We're going to go down, change the dependent, change it to ask, sorry, the independent to ask, and then automatically tell me dependent. So one-time change, but now I can plug in an X and it will spit out a Y. So need to make that change, second window table set. Remember in y equals I have my equation. Now when I go to the table, if I plug in 0, if I charge 0 for the book, I make no money. Well, we're talking about a book, so maybe $10 goes up. And to see that number, it's 1.3 million, scientific notation. Put your cursor on top. What about $20? Okay, it's going up. $30, it's going up. $40, still going up. $50, oops, starting to go down. Now remember, I want to see the entire graph go up and go down. So I'm going to keep on going until I get to 0. So 60, going down. Now I run out of space, so I can either go back up or keep on typing on top. 70, still going. 80, okay, I get a negative. So now I know what my window is. So before I go to the calculator again, I'm going to go from 0 to 80, that will cover it. And then the money, remember, if I look at the calculator, was like 2.8 million. So I'm going to go to 3 million. So it's really important to sketch this out, understand the problem first. You cannot do it all on the calculator. So when I go to the calculator, I go to window. Remember, this is the price, 0 to 80, counting, let's say, by $10. The Y will be 0 to 3 million, counting by maybe 500,000. And again, you will not be able to do this unless you understand the problem. Now that I hit graph, I'll be able to see the whole thing. Now my goal is to find the vertex. So as we did last time in the calculator, second trace. Now it's a maximum, it's a high point. Number 4. Go to the left, enter. Go to the right, enter. Guess where you think it is, enter, and your vertex will be $37.50, and let's see, $2,812,500. Now we can always do this by hand using quadratic formula. You find your x, plug into the original, and do y. So you always have the backup, but I want us to learn all of it. Now, what does this mean? Again, it's not just getting the answer. So to maximize revenue, you should charge $37.50 per book to make $2,812,500 in revenue. If we charge less, we don't make as much money. If we charge more, we don't make as much money. That's the best price.